Read your background, right? Some people would label you as a member of the deep state. The deep state. Can you tell us more about that incident? You've written a lot about that.
What the watchstanders on the bridge observed was a UAP, again, something that was aloft but had no observable exhaust or control surfaces. So it was something that couldn't be explained. And then they saw it enter the water from the atmosphere and going through the air-sea interface.
In our previous panel, we had Grush, and he had testified to say that some of these were interdimensional beings. Can you speak on that at all?
Ma'am, I'm not qualified, certainly as a scientist or otherwise, to speculate points of origin. The vehicles we're talking about are performing in excess of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 Gs.
So are you, I guess, would it be safe to infer that they're living craft? They're living craft?
You know, I'm not prepared at this point to state for the record is something alive or not, because even that definition...
Can you speak on that at all?
Ma'am, I'm not qualified, certainly as a scientist or otherwise, to speculate points of origin.
Friday the 13th, 2029. Supposed to be the date that all, well, we'll just say that the god of chaos, the god of darkness, Apophis, the Empire State Building size monster of an asteroid is set to come very, very close to the Earth. And, there's some more information that just came out. And Rex Bear from Leak Project, who is just... Who needs to know about Rex Bear? Nobody. Everybody knows about Rex Bear. He's the guy who knows everything about everything. Apophis, another name for the devil. We just had the devil comet. And I love your background, Rex. You just pulled it up.
Was the artificial intelligence version of the devil comet when I asked it to create an image of the devil comet, Apophis 99942, and I thought it did a pretty good job.
Do you feel like you're living in a movie right now?
Yeah, I do. And especially after this whole FEMA debacle. I mean,
oh, that's right. Yeah. You sent me information about this. This is big breaking news. People are freaking out about.
Hot off the press, and I just showed you the video where the Escoda Township meeting was recorded. It was uploaded on the channel for YouTube, the Escoda Township. And a gentleman was talking about the airport out there, which is a repurposed, decommissioned Air Force base. And the airport now is basically cargo flights. So it doesn't have passenger flights from like Delta and such.
Right.
It's a very, very nice airport. The town itself, there's only about 920 people in the town. And it's
obscure.
Yeah, very obscure. It's in the middle of practically nowhere off of Lake Huron. And so when he said at the town hall meeting that there's going to be 350 semi-trucks loaded with trailers, FEMA showing up, that's what he said in the town hall meeting. People were like, he's like, but don't worry about it. You know, they're showing up here. So that somebody saw that. I think, I don't remember the gal's name. She has a YouTube channel. It got like 500,000 views overnight. It went viral. And I thought, wow, this is a pretty big deal. Let me look into this more. So Needy Hippie is her name, I think, or Needy Homesteader, one of the two. It's like a KN as far as
you got your shout out, Needy. You got your shout out.
Hello. Yeah. So I thought, okay, this is really interesting. So I reported on it and quite a bit of interest. And then the very next day, a news article came out from the Detroit Press saying that, FEMA isn't confirmed there yet. They're just talking about it. They went out there in September to look for a location. And and I'm like, okay, so I reported on that. I said, okay, folks, it's, looks like it's a false alarm. But then my friend Mark said, hey man, I'm a few hours away from there. Why don't I drive out there and see what's going on?
You sent somebody in, you sent a spy into Rahab's house. You're like, let's go figure out what's going on.
He offered.
Good.
Yeah. So I was like, Mark, I think that's a great idea. Mark was bored. He was looking for something to do. He wanted to know what was going on. And so
why not? Why not get involved in some big FEMA conspiracy? Nothing better to do.
So he goes out there He gets out there when it's kind of dark. He sees some security guards outside. He drives past them. He looks around for a little bit, and then he gets back in. And then one of the security guards shows up and says, "Hey, you know, how's it going? What's going on?" And he said, "Well, I want to see all the FEMA trucks. Where are the FEMA trucks at?" He says, and the security guard said, "Well, they're not here yet, but they should be here soon. We're expecting."
Oh yeah,
them.
that was the clip you sent me to listen to. Was that was him talking? That's right. That was a little weird, you know. And so I said to you, what if he's just not privy to the new information? You know, like that's a possibility too. But forget that. Why are they looking for staging areas?
That's a great question. With that many supplies, I mean,
right.
350 semi trucks. How, if you go to the biggest Walmart center, that not like the store, but where they have like the warehouse for their supplies, or Amazon or something, how many trucks do they have at those facilities? How large are those facilities? Do they have 350 trucks at one of those?
Right.
I mean, that's a lot of semi trucks.
Yeah.
And we're not talking pickup trucks. We're talking semi trucks.
Did they say why they were going there? Did they say why they were staging an event there?
No, they didn't. But
that's kind of like, that's sus, right? Because I listened to what you sent me, and that's a little like, we're just going to let you know, hey, they're coming. Why? Well, we're not privy.
What's going on? We don't know. We're just looking at going there anyway. That's FEMA Region 5. Now, what I had thought to myself, because I had gone back and done some research in the area, because people were mentioning the Madrid fault and possibility of some earthquakes out there. Now I've heard reports of several dams in that area that could be getting ready to break or have problems because they're so old. So those are some people speculating. So this is the pure speculation realm. Let's say that they are going out there, or they're looking for another place to go with 350 semi trucks of supplies. Why?
Right.
Is it just, like, and then people are like, why wasn't there a bigger presence in North Carolina or Florida during Milton or after these hurricanes that took place just recently? And those are great questions. I don't know. I don't know. So
and this is why I was really interested in talking about this, because you remember all those years ago, I can't verify that any of this really happened, but do you remember when they were talking about all those, caskets, like those thousands and thousands of, why would they have that? Like if that was like a legit thing, like that's another thing. So there becomes this question, like I've always wondered, I don't know if you do, like, are they getting ready for something? Right? Has all this madness with the lockdowns and the this and the that, has this all been, like, do you think that there's a possibility there could be something coming in? Something?
Well, the 2030 thing, now this is where it goes towards Apophis and the 2030 timeline, because if you look at a lot of these projects, the UN and the WEF, they've got this timestamp of 2030. And so, and the military, and I'm like, okay, 2030, what's going on with 2030?
Yeah,
right.
What's around that time?
Yeah. Apophis is 2029, Friday.
I know. Friday the 13th. You had to remind me. How freaky is that? How freaky is that? Friday the 13th, and it's coming within, I think they said like 19,000 miles. That's not a lot of, and like anything can perturb this just a little bit.
Oh, it'll be closer than 19,000 miles. It's going to be closer than some satellites.
Are you serious? I thought, like, I read it was going to be like 19,000 miles. That's what they were like official reporting was. But
you're right. No, you're right.
But I mean, they are releasing warnings about it. And like you were telling me before we talked, you were saying that, they keep upping the date and changing the date.
Right. Well, they keep changing the projected forecasts with the orbit because they have different models now to.
Oh, the models are scary, man. The models are scary. Like that thing, it's the size of the Empire State Building.
It is. And it's got an airy name, but when they discovered it at the time, they thought it was going to be even closer when it was first discovered, hence the name Apophis.
I remember.
And now if you look at if you go to the Wikipedia page, they've even got this new logo for Apophis.
Right.
And the logo for Apophis, the symbol, it looks very similar to the Egyptian hieroglyphic of Apophis.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a snake. It's a snake.
Yeah.
It's the it's just to put things in perspective for people, regardless of what your religion is, Apophis, short for the god of the dead, god of chaos. Now they're saying this is a weird one, the god of darkness. That's like, I never heard Apophis called the god of darkness. Like, but that's like the new thing they're starting to put out, which is strange because you got all this dark MAGA talk. But basically it's set, and it's also like a picture of the adversary of God, Satan. It's Apollo takes the chariot in the sun. Tell me about that. Do you know what I'm talking about with all the...
You're getting into the mythology now, and I think a lot of the mythology has to do with astrotheology, the zodiac, the signs in the heavens, etc.
Sure.
But one thing I do want to mention is Apep, or Apophis, or Apoph, or Apoph, is also the ancient Egyptian deity who embodied darkness and disorder. So when they use that term darkness, that's one of the aspects. And it could lead, one of the things I think where you might be going with this, and I love the way your mind works, dude. Like, not very many people connect dots.
Well, myth is there for a reason. Sometimes I think that these events could be cyclical, so that they tell the events so that the story is told, and then the spirit of the truth of what's coming comes. Like the flood and all of these things. Like, I believe they literally happened, and why wouldn't they happen again? If you will. But tell me more about the Egyptian god of darkness, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so Apep, Apophis, is, as you mentioned, the god of darkness and disorder, so you could look at it as chaos. But representing, I actually have questioned if the Egyptian depiction of Apep, it's not just like, in ancient Egypt, they're scared of this like god that looks like a snake that's massive and giant. No, I think it's actually an asteroid or a comet or a celestial object.
Right, and it would have a trail. It would have a trail, would it not?
It would, yes.
So it would look very much like a snake, right? And, and it's even depicted, that this is... So are you concerned? I mean, this is my point. Like, are you concerned? Like when you hear things like FEMA staging this big event, you see that there is a new order of things, right? You saw Elon put out the new world order, right? So, I mean, is it possible that this is all like just they're locking down? The great reset is the fact that this event could come and could shake everything up. So we need to start fresh. I don't know,
Well, I don't think that this event, as far as if FEMA sends 350 trucks to this airport, or let's say they don't send it to this airport, they're talking about sending it somewhere. So, what is that? I don't necessarily think that that's connected with APEP.
Right.
I think that's something completely different.
Okay.
And my theory about that could be every bit as frightening. And I'm not sure yet, and it's pure speculation. But when I look at previous patterns that take place before big events, one of those patterns is establishing supplies prior.
Right.
I'm just going to leave it. I don't want to go any further than that.
I know where you're going. It starts with a W and it ends with an R. 3 letters. But we're not going to say it because we know words have power.
I don't want that to happen, man.
Me neither.
But I mean,
Me neither.
Yeah, let's just kumbaya, my friend.
Hang on. I got this for the tinnitus.
What do you got there? Oh yeah, look at that.
The singing bowl. Yeah,
I love it.
I'm doing everything that I can to get really be at peace, because I mean in the midst of the storm we're supposed to be at peace. And now they're talking about aliens. This is great because you and I both years ago were saying they're going to disclose it eventually. Aliens are going to be a thing. We're going to, you know what I mean? I mean, all of these, these meetings that are taking place right now, they're going to be epic. There's like a whistleblower who's saying that it's going to change. This is like the meetings today. I don't know if you heard about it.
Oh yeah, Congress. Oh yeah.
Combat ship of the U.S. Navy operating off Southern California. I don't remember the exact date. It was within the last decade. And what the watchstanders on the bridge observed was a UAP, again, something that was aloft but had no observable exhaust or control surfaces. So it was something that couldn't be explained. And then they saw it enter the water from the atmosphere and going through the air-sea interface, and so thus exhibiting
It is also important to underscore that to date, the department has discovered no verifiable evidence of extraterrestrial beings, activity, or technology. None of the cases resolved by AARO have pointed to advanced capabilities or breakthrough technologies either.
Do you think aliens had something to do with maybe us?
Oh yeah, I think that we are we're the basically years of genetic manipulation.
Right.
Thousands, hundreds of thousands of years of genetic manipulation combined with the divine spark of divinity and the divine creator. I believe that we have been sculpted and molded by species and civilizations that are not necessarily from Earth.
So like the Anunnaki. I'm drinking, by the way, I'm drinking in my Uranus is a planet mug. You are Anus, right? Anu. Right?
Anu, the king of the Anunnaki.
Yeah, the Anunnaki. I didn't even know about that. The word Uranus, by the way, means heaven. And if you want to support the channel, that's a great way to do it. You go to the description of the video below. I always forget to tell people. Oh, by the way, and if you want to have Rex, Truly Free Home, by the way, you should, I sent this to you because he's very interested in sponsoring you with the toxic free stuff. Yeah, I'll send it over. But it was like toxic free. It's like the best stuff ever. You go to trulyfreehome.com and they're doing some huge like event right now. Just enter code Jacob, you get 30% off, and you get like a bunch of free stuff with your order. It's so good for you, no toxins and all that stuff. Can't believe I actually got a promo in during the show. I always forget to, but
let me say something real quick about the chemicals, just because I'm really, really passionate about organic, non-GMO kind of stuff. I do my best to eat as much organic and non-GMO as possible. Every once in a while, I'll have a good burger, but I stay away from the dirty clown. But I mean, like the chemicals themselves, if you look at all the different toxins in a lot of these cleaners, I mean, horrible. It is absolutely, it's scary. Right. And you could take pure soap, and it could be used for so many of these projects, or I gotta use this cleaner to clean the oven. I've got to use this cleaner for the.
Listen, and then you're spraying it near your pets. You're spraying it near your children. Not only does it smell terrible, and that's why I really am glad that I got turned on to this, because I started living healthier. I even quit drinking, Rex. I haven't drank. When my accident happened, I felt like my life was taking a new direction, and I felt like, because I got bummed out with the nonstop tinnitus. It's like a horror. It's like I'm in the Black Mirror episode, and I mean I'm always behind the scenes to my wife saying this is really just horrendous. But I understand there's some kind of a purpose to it, but I was like getting a little bummed out, and I'm like, I'm not ever going to drink because I don't want anything else to get me down, and I don't miss it at all. It's like literally, even in hardship and when terrible things happen, you could be smacked by the side of your head and then put back on an even better course. So I know I'm on a better course. I am definitely healthier. I'm stronger. I don't have as much pain that I used to. But a lot of that has to do with I use a deodorant that doesn't have all the, I use everything now. I'm brushing my teeth. I don't have any of the, there are ways to do it. Truly Free Home is awesome. Nice. That's why you should let them. They would love to take you on as a sponsor.
I would be honored, man. My son that's going to college, he uses deodorant that has aluminum in it, and it pisses me off.
I know, me too. Yeah.
Knock it off. I'm like, this stuff doesn't have aluminum in it. Use the stuff that's aluminum free. And anyway,
it's interesting because you think what's around 2030. Apophis is set in 2030. We're seeing like so many fireballs now Like there are all these fireballs, and we're seeing like these crazy earthquakes that are happening and volcanoes. You know, I kept seeing like people were talking about Pompeo, and I said, I don't like that because I think of Pompeii, you know? And now we have all these volcanoes erupting everywhere. They're worried about Maui, the largest one. This is, so there's gotta be something coming in, you know? It's like there's gotta be something.
Well, the core has slowed down. Using seismic data, scientists have showed with the models that the Earth's inner core has slowed down so much that it's potentially reversed. And even though we're talking milliseconds, that makes a substantial difference. So if we look at the magnetic fields of the Earth, they're definitely weakened. The sun is intensified. The sun has
why do you think that's happening? All of these huge, like, I mean, auroras in Long Island?
Oh, that's another. Okay, so we were talking about the earthquakes, right? The earthquakes. Let's go back to this and the FEMA thing. Just real quick before I forget.
Yeah.
So, the earthquakes that were felt in New Jersey and New York, that changed the way scientists and geologists are looking at the fault lines and the possibility of earthquakes in that area. And that was one of the reasons I thought that they might use the staging area in Escoda at that airport with supplies in case there was a major earthquake in that area. And I thought, well, why wouldn't they put the supplies in Region 3, which is actually where New York City is, instead of Region 5?
Oh, stop. I live in Long Island. You're scaring me, man.
Well, I thought, like, if there was a big earthquake and they put all the supplies in Region 3 or somewhere close to New York, but the earthquake was catastrophic in that area, then they wouldn't be able to logistically possibly get to those supplies.
Right.
Ruined. But if they're in an area that is west across the lake, you know, Lake Huron, they could fly it in because that airport is strategically located and it's a huge airport without any passenger flights. So it's.
Are you concerned? Honestly, are you concerned about the future, or are you excited like me, but still think things are going to be crappy for a lot of people?
I'm so excited, man. I am so excited. And am I concerned? I'm always concerned, but I use that as a way to fuel my fire, to be the change that I want to see in the world, and to talk to people about things that we can make a difference without being the victim, being the change, and being proactive. And like mind, as you mentioned, if we can focus on certain things, then we can build that up. And that's what the MFers, the money funders, they know that. They know that they can put something on the news and they get everybody to watch it, and you're building these egregores. Yeah, fear.
And then there's so much torment and fear, and it feels like, I mean, I really do feel like for a long time, and it's still going on, I'm sure, that people have been just so psychologically battered and beaten, and it's no wonder that people are as nutty as they are, and as broken and as angry, you know. So what I tell people is to try to get out of that. What do you tell people to do? You know? Well,
I have family members that are still really, really upset about the most recent election, like spent days crying about it.
Yeah.
And I've tried to talk to them and comfort them and be like, look, either way, celebrities typically don't have your best interests at heart.
Right.
Politicians typically don't have your best interests at heart.
Right.
And so don't feed into that to where it's like, I mean, this is just a suggestion, but if you feed into that and, you spend a week crying because the person you wanted, man, it really hurts, makes me sad.
Yeah.
That's why I'm talking about this, because I like really close family members that this really affected. And so many people are divided, or they don't talk to their family members because of politics.
Yeah. My wife, her best friend that like lived with us when she was having a hard time, isn't speaking to her because, she thinks that we voted for Trump, which we did. But I mean, things are the way they are, right? Things are the way they are. And it's like, it doesn't, and what people are so angry about is they're basing it on their fear of what they don't even know,
Yeah.
And that in fear, there's such torment in it that it makes you physically violent because you don't want to be scared. So you lash out. And so I feel like we need more people like you calming people down, because I was a little concerned about, all this stuff. But I mean what should we think the worst? What should we,
Prepare for the worst. expect the best, and do what you can to get to that point. Now, as far as like losing friends and family over political stuff, that's when politics win. And you know what? When the MFers get this nation to a point of division, to where if there was potentially something even further from like just, people not talking to each other, but going out on the streets,
right?
If this nation was to have that, that would be the best time for foreign adversaries to come in.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're fighting amongst each other. When's the best time to clean house? Whenever, the house is divided. So like, if you just, why are you going to let politics destroy your family and friends?
I'll tell you, my faith is really, it's grown over the years. And, one of the things that I've come to terms with is that, things are going to be the way they are. There's an order to it and there's a purpose to it. And I also believe that my experience and how I perceive it can affect it. Like my faith of what's coming can affect it. I've actively, like you, have spoken life as opposed to fear and darkness, which is what a lot of people are doing. Because of that eclipse, I want to tell everybody, spiritually speaking, Apophis, I'm not as worried about Apophis as maybe a lot of people are. I'm sure something's going to happen. Something always happens. But, there's so many signs that I've seen, like when those eclipses took place, the last great American eclipse, we're touched, everything connected with the story of Jonah.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
And the story of Jonah is people repent and they're spared, they're saved. Donald Trump coming in, I compared him, like people are now saying that like I'm like such a MAGA guy. It's so funny. I just knew for a long time that it was going to be him. Why? It's like the story of Nebuchadnezzar playing out. And what happens is the guy does kind of change, and he does come back a changed man, and he does do the right thing by some people. So we got to hope for the best. And we can't get hung up in the madness, because I think that there could be a lot of people that are turned against each other in this last time. So what would your advice be to people that are going to be freaking out if they start hearing about that stuff? And should they have anything at their house just on hand, just in case? Like, what do you recommend just in case?
Well, look, I mean, I think for me personally, it's good to have some food and some water and supplies. And if you maybe have some antibiotics on hand or something like that, if you need them, have cleaners like, soap, you need toothpaste. Imagine going a month without soap or toothpaste or something like that. I mean, it would be pretty gnarly. So be prepared in that regard. Right. And like
hygiene, be prepared with hygiene. Right.
Yeah.
How much food do you think people should have?
I don't know, man. I mean, as much as you can.
Right.
So just what do you feel comfortable with? What's your mind telling you? Where do you feel comfortable? What do you feel like you need to do? Right. I think it's always good to be prepared, not scared. I'm not bringing in my tomato plants yet. I'm not losing sleep over Apophis, because they got 4 or 5 more years to fix it.
Right. Brother, listen, I appreciate your honesty and your positivity, and everybody should check out your channel. The link will be in the description of the video. Thanks for coming on, man. I love talking to you behind the scenes about this stuff, because it is interesting. All right, everybody, have the best day ever. I love each and every one of you. Make sure you smash the like button, share the channel around, and go check out Rex's channel, Leak Project on YouTube. Love you all. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Teachers teach for hire. The evangelists speak of either no responsibility or infinite fire. For gain they remain, for name they claim the truth while proving to be liars. And I, Lord, I feel like a spider and a giant, seeking day and night and feeling like I'm never going to find it. Because your truth, oh Lord, few seem to wanna buy it. They build out of the reputations they've killed a kingdom that will become a funeral pyre. For the behavior of those who claim to be God, I have truly grown tired. Lord, when will you show the world this life they never know, until this type of behavior they retire. And I, Lord, oh, I feel like a spiral and a giant, seeking day and night and feeling like I'm never gonna find it. Because your truth, oh Lord, few seem to wanna buy it. But here I am, oh Lord, here I am, a broken and beaten, prayerful man who prays he's never misleading. Here I am, do your will, but please help me and others to find its meaning. Show them, grow them, lead them, for you are far better than me. A worthless worm agonizing to create harm to me. So one day they'll say the God of Jacob is the God of eternity.